Most gardeners lay mulch like armor. Thick, uniform, tidy, modern. They assume if weeds are blocked and moisture is trapped, the job is done. But that thinking is why so many beds turn sour after a season or two. Soil goes anaerobic, slugs move in, roots stall near the surface, nutrients stop cycling even though inputs increase. Mulch didn't protect the soil, it suffocated it. I trusted modern mulch until I watched it fail under real stress. Wood chips, shredded bark, straw, landscape fabric, even premium bagged mulches all behave well under mild conditions. The failures show up when heat spikes, rain stalls, or irrigation schedules slip. In my test beds, modern mulches looked fine early, then began to seal the soil surface. Water either ran off or stayed trapped. Gas exchange slowed. Worm activity dropped sharply. The cover that won every test wasn't engineered, it was inherited. The material that outperformed everything else was whole deciduous leaf litter that had partially decomposed naturally. Not shredded leaves, not compost, not mixed with wood. Just layered forest-style leaf mold with intact structure. Modern advice treats leaf litter as waste or weak compost. That's a category error. Leaf litter is not fertilizer. It's a living interface between air and soil. Forests don't mulch to feed plants. They mulch to regulate exchange. Once I started testing it seriously, modern mulch stopped making sense. Why modern mulches fail once biology gets involved? Most modern mulches create dominance. They favor one process at the expense of others. Wood chips favor surface fungi but repel moisture downward. Straw collapses and mats. Fabric blocks airflow entirely. Rubber and plastic reflect heat and cook roots. Leaf litter doesn't dominate. It negotiates. Overlapping leaves create air gaps that stay open even when wet. Moisture moves slowly, not abruptly. Oxygen continues to diffuse. Soil organisms migrate vertically instead of being trapped below a barrier. That vertical movement is what modern mulches break. So, what actually changed in the soil after one season? After just one season under leaf litter, soil aggregates really held their shape. They didn't smear when wet or fracture when dry, which is honestly impressive. Earthworms appeared, and I didn't even have to inoculate the soil. Fungal strands started connecting the surface all the way down to the root zone. And weed pressure, well, it shifted from those aggressive tap-rooted species to shallow opportunists that you could pull out easily. Let me explain how I actually apply this cover in real gardens, not just in theory. In small backyard beds, I apply leaf litter about 4 to 6 inches deep after the transplants have established. Nothing fancy. I always leave a small open ring around the stems for airflow, and I never ever mix it into the soil. Mixing just destroys the layered function. In raised beds, I go deeper, about 6 to 8 inches, because, raised beds experience sharper temperature and moisture swings. That thickness really buffers both, but it doesn't create anaerobic zones. Now, in in-ground clay soils, leaf litter is the only cover I've used that actually improves infiltration without causing a perched water layer. It integrates slowly from below, and honestly, that's exactly what clay needs. Let's talk about why shredding leaves, it ruins the effect completely. Shredded leaves just behave like paper pulp. They collapse, seal, and end up shedding water. Whole leaves, on the other hand, overlap like shingles, which creates structure. And really, that structure is the entire point. I collect leaves in autumn and just pile them up loose. No turning, no nitrogen, just time and rain. By spring, the lower layers are dark, flexible, and biologically active, but still intact. That's the material that works. If all you have are shredded leaves, compost them fully. Don't use them as mulch and expect this result. Living covers lost for one simple reason. I tested clover, vetch, and low-growing mixes alongside leaf litter. Living covers are powerful, but they compete. In tight beds and high-value crops, that competition costs water, nitrogen, and root space. Leaf litter doesn't compete, it supports. In tomato beds, leaf-covered soil produced larger fruit with fewer stress cracks than living covers under the same irrigation. That told me moisture stability mattered more than nitrogen fixation during fruiting. Living covers belong in rest periods. Leaf litter belongs during production. The hydroponic connection? Yeah, that made this click for me. Leaf litter doesn't go into hydro systems, obviously. But when I started using leaf-covered soil beds, the microbial teas pulled from those beds changed. Roots in cocoa and perlite systems inoculated with those teas showed better branching and oxygen tolerance. That told me the biology fostered by leaf litter favors gas exchange and moisture balance, exactly what roots need everywhere. Healthy soil teaches you what roots want, even when there is no soil. The downsides, honestly, nobody mentions these enough. Leaf litter looks messy. It takes time to source. Slugs will hide in it if you overwater. It won't feed heavy feeders on its own. Anyone saying leaf litter replaces fertility is lying. But here's the trade-off I'll take every season. Fewer interventions, fewer corrections, fewer failures under stress. I'd rather add nutrients intentionally than fight a mulch that turns against me mid-season. Ancient systems evolved under pressure. There were no irrigation schedules, no rescue inputs, and, honestly, no neat edges. They survived heat, drought, flood, and neglect because they regulated exchange instead of forcing outcomes. Modern mulches force outcomes, but ancient covers enable systems. That difference is exactly why one wins when conditions get real. After switching primarily to leaf litter, irrigation frequency dropped. Soil temperature stabilized, worm populations doubled, and mycorrhizal inoculants actually colonized instead of stalling. Weeds weakened without being eliminated completely, which honestly made management easier, not harder. Modern mulches promised control, but ancient cover delivered resilience. If you're growing food, not just maintaining beds, consistency matters more than perfection. Crops don't need ideal conditions. They need predictable ones. Leaf litter provides predictability better than anything else I've tested. If this video helped you rethink mulch instead of just swapping products, subscribe to the Husbandry channel and share it with someone still fighting their soil every year. Better harvests don't come from better marketing. They come from understanding why old systems lasted and applying that knowledge with intention.